less stress. Let's define what stress is. Let's talk very specifically about what causes it. Then let's talk about how in the world it affects us. And then in the next 3 weeks, we're going to talk about stress in relationships. We're going to talk about some of the internal stress, anxiety, and how that produces stress. And then we're going to talk about how to reduce stress before it starts. We're going to get on the real proactive side in the last part of this series. So on the front of your notes, let me just give you a brief overview. And I'm going to go sort of with the medical route and try and keep it short. But stress, in essence, is the body's nonspecific response to demands. I mean, that's the technical definition. There's demands on your body, and stress is how your body responds to internal things and external things. The body's wonderful autonomic nervous system, in other words, that part that operates on its own, you don't have to think about it, has two operating systems. One is called the sympathetic, or the general alarm. It's the fight or flight response. This is for emergencies. This is we'll talk about specifically what happens in your body when this occurs. The second is the parasympathetic, and that's your relaxed. It has to do with renewing, rest, relaxation, healing, physical repair, regeneration. And those two things are operating back and forth, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. And if there's not balance, if there's like intense fight, flight, alarm all the time, then all the things I'm going to describe in a minute are happening even when you're not needing all these things to happen. And that's what experts are saying is happening, especially in America today. Let me tell you 5 or 6 specific things that happen when the fight or flight system. Digestion slows so blood can be directed to the muscles and the brain, because the point is that if someone jumped out from a dark alley to attack you, or one of your children was caught under a car, or someone was chasing you for your life, the body has certain things that occur biologically that allow you to have strength and focus and ability that you don't have other times. And so here's what the body does. First of all, blood flows. It stops the blood in your stomach, and it flows directly to your muscles. Second, your breathing becomes much faster. If you've ever been out of breath under pressure, that's why. So all the oxygen can go to your blood and to your muscles. The heart speeds up, the blood pressure soars, blood to the parts of the body that need it. That's why if you've ever had butterflies, what that is that the stress brings about this response, and it shuts down your digestion, and so you feel all this weird stuff and your heart pounding. Those are all symptoms of your body telling you it's ready for a fight or it's ready for a flight. The muscle tension is preparation for important action. So under stress, your muscles get fired up and they're ready to do something. Well, you know what? If you're fired up over a paper that's due, a meeting you're going to, a 30-year mortgage, or a relational difficulty, it produces tightening in the neck, headaches, migraines. It moves on. Chemicals are released to make the blood clot more rapidly, so that if you were in a fight or in an accident, isn't it amazing how the body works? So that you wouldn't lose so much blood. Finally, sugars and fats are poured into the blood to provide fuel for quick energy. And then hormones are elevated during the stress response. Norepinephrine and epinephrine we commonly call adrenaline. Along with that, cortisol acts to aid in the preparation for vigorous physical activity. But unfortunately, one of the functions of cortisol is to break down lean tissue for conversion into sugar as an additional source of energy. And it blocks the removal of certain acids in the bloodstream. When cortisol is elevated for prolonged periods of time, it causes ulcerations in the lining of the stomach because of increased acid formation. Emotional stress responses produce an excess of cortisol. And so in a recent Stanford study, what we learned is when people are under stress for long periods of time, what you actually do is you live in this fight or flight, add a little caffeine to keep it going, add a little emotional stress, and what happens is your body marinates in this fight or flight. Cortisol is going through your body, and they found it does 3 things. It shrinks or kills your brain cells. It's not good. Second, it actually has the ability to unravel your chromosomes. And third, it causes you to get sick. It lowers the immune system. Stress is very